Hey everyone, my name is Angie and I am so thankful and glad to have you here at my winter wellness class. Thank you for joining me tonight. I know sometimes these evenings can get late, but thank you so much for being here. So I'm so excited about this class because maybe like you, I am a mom and I was just looking for ways to keep my family healthy in the winter. I'm married, I have 2 kids, and right now they are 11 and 13, but when I first started really being conscious and concerned about their health all the time and ways that we could keep them healthy, they were like 5 and 7. So I've had about 6 or so years to kind of like just figure out what works for us, what kind of wellness routine works for us, and I'm just really excited to share that with you tonight. So today I'm going to share with you like our family's best tips and tricks to staying healthy in the winter, and it involves like oily things and non-oily things. I'm also going to talk about not only physical health, but your emotional health, which actually can impact your physical health. Plus, sometimes it's really hard to get through the winter. I don't know where you live. I live in Indiana. It gets really gray in the winter. And so sometimes we need some support in that area too. So why don't you make sure to grab a notebook? I have so much information to share with you tonight, and I'll try to go through it as quickly as I can without being too speedy, but I want you to be able to write some stuff down because I'm going to share a whole lot of information with you. If at any time you have questions during this class, just leave them in the comments. I'm going to turn them off while I'm recording because I get super distracted, but I'll come back at the end and answer questions. And then if you're watching the replay, feel free to just leave questions in the comments and I will come back and answer those as best I can, okay? So, first, I want to talk about that during this time of year, and you're hearing all these things of people getting sick and all the things, it's so much easier to focus on our wellness rather than being reactive and having to focus on the sickness. So that's really what I try to do. I try to do as much as we can to keep our family healthy and well. And so that's a lot of what I want to share with you today. Now, that being said, like kids are kids, we're all people, like sickness is going to happen, right? But I'll tell you, like, we haven't had to go to the doctor for an illness in years. And I think it's, a big reason. It's not because we have not been sick, but we haven't been sick enough to warrant a doctor visit because we've really stayed on top of our wellness. So that's the kind of stuff I'm going to share with you tonight. So I want to start, and this might sound cliche, but I want to start and talk about like your lifestyle as a foundation. So all like vitamins, minerals, oils, supplements aside, like your lifestyle is really the foundation. So no amount of oils or supplements or anything can fix this, okay? So this is what I'm talking about. Like we limit sugar in our kids, and I'm sure I don't have to go into a bunch of details of why that's important, but we really do watch what we bring in the house. And our kids know, like, they don't get a whole bunch of sugary snacks. They get like a special treat a day, which might be like a cookie at the end of the day or something. Like they still get treats, but we really limit the sugar and the processed food. We make most of our own meals at home just with like real whole food ingredients. We keep it super simple, but I think that's a big reason why like my kids have a pretty good constitution, because we're not always eating out and sugar and sugary drinks and processed foods. Like that's key. Like I said, no amount of oils and supplements can fix those kind of lifestyle things. So that's my first tip is like, just lifestyle stuff, limit sugar, processed food, all of that. We have a regular bedtime for our kids. I know like in today's day and age, that might seem crazy. And being 11 and 13, that might seem crazy, but they're in bed we aim for 8:30 every night. It's sometimes 8:45, but a regular bedtime is crucial for them because I don't know if your kids are like this, and maybe they're not, maybe mine are different, but my kids' immune systems take a big hit if they are lacking sleep. And so they've always been like, if they go to bed they can go to bed at 8:30 or they can go to bed at midnight and they're going to be up at 7 o'clock in the morning. It doesn't matter. So I make sure to get them in bed on time because sleep is super important, as you know, for immune repair. So limit sugar, regular bedtime. We limit screen time. And this kind of goes along with the bedtime thing. I don't know, surely you've seen all the different studies and stuff now that show how that makes them not be able to sleep well at night in a lot of cases. Also, it leads to anxiety, and I'm going to talk about that in a bit because stress and anxiety can hit your immune system as well. So screen time limits are a big thing for us in terms of lifestyle. And we also make sure that we don't overschedule stuff. We give our kids plenty of downtime. The reason I know that stress is such an immune hit for them, last year, my son was getting these sores on his tongue. And I was consulting with our kind of natural doctor, what do you think's going on? And I figured he was kind of stressed, and she's like, he's stressed out. That's caused from stress. And she said, and his immune system is taking such a hit that his body can't keep that in check. She's like, the nature of it is fungal. She said fungal and maybe bacterial or something. I can't remember. And she said, but the reason is that his immune system, his stress is so out of control that his immune system can't keep that stuff in check that it could normally keep in check. So, we're really conscious of stress in our family. So just another lifestyle thing that we do. Okay, that all being said, some things that we keep on hand for when we're out and about and just living regular everyday life is a Thieves hand sanitizer. My kids have that in their bags at school. I have that in the car. They know before we go out to a restaurant, you wash your hands, and if you haven't had a chance to do that, you're going to get a squirt of your hand sanitizer, right? At home, we use the Thieves foaming hand soap, and then we use the Thieves household cleaner to clean devices. So my kids go to a school where they have to have iPads, and so every day after school, the first thing they do, they come in the door, they wash their hands, and they spray down their iPads with Thieves household cleaner. So I feel like that is a good defense against anything that can be floating around, especially this time of year, for them. Okay, then when it comes to our actual wellness routine, this is kind of the heart and soul of what I want to share with you guys tonight. So we do take a few supplements and use some oils. We keep it pretty basic, but I feel like it makes such a big difference in addition to the lifestyle things that we're already doing, that you're probably already doing. Ningxia Red has made a huge difference for my kids. And I will be honest, this is the first year that I've actually been really consistent in giving this to them every day before school. And they just have a little shot glass, so they probably only get about an ounce to an ounce and a half, I would say, a day. But it has been a game changer for our family. I buy, the cheapest way to buy this, if you're already a member, is to get the Ningxia Red Essential Rewards Kit, because it's even further discounted. So it comes with these packets. So I take the packets myself, which are 2 ounces, and then I use the bottles for them and just fill their shot glasses, like I said, about an ounce to an ounce and a half, and that has been a game changer for our family. I would say if you could make one positive addition to your own wellness routine, I would totally look at Ningxia. It has been amazing for us. You have to let me know in the comments if you guys already are drinking that and using it. It's awesome. Okay, the next thing we do every day is in the morning, before school and before bed, they get Thieves and frankincense on their feet, just 1 drop of each. And we just rub that on their feet before school and before they go to bed. Super easy, call it a day. I actually do have a Thieves roller too that makes it convenient. You could always make your own roller with these, but it's easy for us to just dab it on and get on with our day. So these right here, I would say this is the heart and soul of our actual wellness routine. Ningxia and things of Thieves and frankincense. Also at night, they get 1 drop of frankincense, and my son gets Thieves, frankincense plus Thieves in his diffuser. My daughter, she prefers eucalyptus, so she has eucalyptus globulus. So this goes in their diffusers at night, and just a couple of drops. I just do 2 drops of the eucalyptus or Thieves and 1 drop of frankincense. So not even that much, and I just let that run at night. Another benefit is the diffusers, they are water-based, so you fill them up with water. And there's a lot of information that shows when you have enough humidity in the air and your nose doesn't dry out, that is really protective against cold and flu viruses as well. Cold and flu viruses can spread really rapidly when the air is really dry, because it dries up your sinus passages and it allows germs to enter more easily. So I feel like that's actually a really big help. And if your house is really dry, you can also run a humidifier if you needed more humidity in the air, but I think that makes a really big difference as well. Every day, okay, so this kind of goes along with the stress, and I won't launch into the whole story, but I found for myself that Mineral Essence makes a massive difference in my monthly cycles. I think because magnesium helps with stress, and so I kind of started applying it to my kids, especially when my son was having stress-related immune problems. And so Mineral essence, you guys, that's a whole different video. I love it for myself, but it's really strong and it tastes terrible and my kids wouldn't take it. So for them, I actually give them this Spectramin. It's kind of the same concept of mineral essence. It doesn't taste great, but it's not quite as strong for them. So I will squirt just like a little bit of this, like maybe half a dropper, into maybe a quarter cup of grape juice for them at the end of the day. So grape juice is my other tip. Now this could be a like anecdotal evidence. I'm sure it's all anecdotal evidence, but there is some discussion that purple grape juice, we just use an organic grape juice, can actually help stop the stomach flu. So every night they get a little like shot of grape juice with their minerals in it. And I think this helps them with stress, if nothing else. Magnesium, this has magnesium and some other minerals in it. Magnesium particularly is good for sleep and stress. So that is why I love this for them. So they get that every day. They also get a probiotic every day. If you don't have a probiotic, Young Living has their Mighty Pro for kids, which is kind of like a pixie stick. It's kind of a powder, or if you're an adult, you can take Inner Defense. As you know, gut health is great for immune support. So they do get a probiotic every day. They get a digestive enzyme after dinner, kind of with their nighttime like little regimen. We have Mighty Vites if your kids don't have a digestive enzyme that they like. So Mighty Vites are an option for you. And then also, I almost forgot about this, but wanted to add it in. So I talked about magnesium for stress. Vitamin B is fantastic for stress too. Let me say, your body will get depleted of magnesium and vitamin B, specifically vitamin B12 when you're stressed out. So we do have a Super B supplement, but they're kind of big pills. So for my kids, I just use these little like quick melt. They're folate, vitamin B12, and I really feel like this helps them with their stress level. I've just noticed a really big difference for them. And again, I think keeping stress down really helps with their immune system. So that's kind of our regular everyday regimen. If I had to pick one thing, I would pick the Ningxia. But for us, that's kind of, we do the probiotics, some enzymes, vitamin B, minerals, and then some oils on them every day. So that's like our normal everyday. That's the stuff we do every day just to keep up with our normal health and support our bodies in all the ways so it can function like it's supposed to, okay? Now, when somebody comes home, you know, inevitably it happens, and they come home and they say they've got a scratchy throat, or you just notice that they're like sniffing a little bit or sneezing or whatever, then we start to get a little more serious with what we're giving them and providing them. So that's when we kick in the vitamin C, okay? So I'm gonna show you these. Young Living has two different vitamin Cs. We have, they're both Super C, but one's a chewable. So I'll show you this one. The tablets are actually fairly large, but they're chewable. So the kids can take these fine. Or if you're an adult, you can use the ones that you swallow. So Super C, obviously, really helpful for immune support, right? I also will give them zinc. Zinc is a great immune booster, especially for anything respiratory. So this is not a Young Living product, but I feel like it's really, really helpful if they tell me they're coming down with something. If you have a notebook, you may want to write down these recipes. The next thing I do is I give them either Thieves Tea, depending on how much time I have. I give them some Thieves Tea, or I will give them a Thieves Spoon. So Thieves Tea is just like a half a cup of water, warm water, a little like dab of honey, and I use 2 drops of Thieves and a drop of Copaiba. Copaiba is fantastic. Like if you read about it like on PubMed, you can read all kinds of stuff about inflammation and Copaiba. So I love it when you're starting to not feel great, and it just really supports your body in that way. If I don't have time to make Thieves tea, or they're going to bed, or they're running out the door, I'll just simply kind of do the same thing but on a spoon and squirt a little bit of honey on the spoon, 2 drops of Thieves, a drop of Copaiba, and just let them have it that way. And there's enough honey on there that those oils get diluted and they don't, they're fine for them to take. And you can take the Thieves and the Copaiba internally because they're both vitality oils, which means they are approved for internal use, okay? So those are the things that we kind of, when they're like, Mom, I have a sore throat or whatever. I will also, if I have time or if it's before bed, I'll make a Thieves gargle for them. And that's simply, I just put a little bit of warm water and some salt, like just sea salt or whatever you have. and a couple drops of Thieves and let them gargle that. I just say, tilt your throat back, and wherever it hurts, just make sure that water's getting there and gargle it. And you guys, just with those couple of tips, it is amazing how quickly we can like squash something that, it just brings their body. Your body is like working like it's supposed to. So you may have to do those things a couple of times a day, especially like the Thieves tea or the gargle, but it is so, so helpful. You can also make your own throat spray. And if you guys don't know, our mouthwash, our Thieves mouthwash, actually has colloidal silver in it. And that is something that a while ago when I would take my kids to the chiropractor frequently, she would tell us if they ever had a sore throat to gargle with colloidal silver. Well, our mouthwash has colloidal silver in it, so it's a great, read about it if you don't know about it. But you can make your own throat spray using it. So I'm gonna just verbally give you the recipe. You basically use 1 ounce of water, 1 ounce of mouthwash, a teaspoon of honey, and then 5 to 10 drops each of Thieves and lemon. And you can put that in a little spray bottle and spray that in your throat to just help it get back to normal. And so that's something you could do. That's not something that I have actually done yet, but I know that a lot of people have used that recipe with success. Again, I keep it really simple. So the gargle works great for us, but you could also do that. We have these Thieves cough drops if they're starting, if they're coughing or they just need something, to soothe their throat. The cough drops are awesome. They look like a normal cough drop. They're infused with the power of Thieves, but these are awesome. They almost kind of like numb your throat a little bit. And there's been times where, it will get me through like 3 or 4 hours of having a sore throat. So I love these. I love these. If you've never tried these. We'll double up on Ningxia if they say that they're coming down with something. So I'll just give it, I normally give them their Ningxia with breakfast. I would probably give them some with dinner or before bed as well. Another excellent supplement, let me see if I have it here. I do, is Inner Defense. So this is more for like an adult or for an older child. So like my 13-year-old can swallow these, my 11-year-old can't. Let me show you, see if I can get one out, show you how big they are. They're a fairly decent size, okay? They're not crazy big, but these are essentially like oregano and Thieves in a capsule. If you don't know, there's a ton of information about oregano and its natural activity and what it can do in the body. It's amazing. Read about it. But I will give her, like my daughter, I'll give her one of these in the morning. And if she comes home from school and still, just feels like she needs something or she's gone through a day and feels, I'll give this one of her these before bed too. My husband and I take these. They're awesome. These are awesome. This is a great product to have on hand for this time of year. And then this little contraption, you guys, so this is new for me this year. Now, I tried to see if my daughter would use it. It feels really weird, so she was kind of over it. But I have actually used this like 3 times. It is called a copper zap, and it's literally just made of pure copper, and it's the craziest thing. You take this little piece, and so you can't use this on a young kid because they have to be old enough to use it themselves. You can't put this in someone else's, but you literally insert this like in your nostril and kind of swab the bottom of your nasal cavity for a minute, and you should go check these out. It can kill all of like the cold virus and whatever that's living in your nose. A lot of times that's where colds will start, is in your nasal passages. And so I have used this like 3 times super successfully. I kind of combine it with everything else I do. So, it's kind of like, well, what is it? But there's been a couple of times where I thought, maybe, like I didn't even start my oily regimen yet. I just did this in the morning and I was like, this thing is amazing. So it's not cheap. I want to say this was like $75 or something. But it's like, you should read about it. But this is one other tool in my arsenal that my husband and I use. And I have gotten my daughter to use it once. I don't know that she would use it again, but I think it works. So check out their website if you're interested in that. It's called Copper Zap. You guys, I am not above any tools. Give me all the mom tools. I am here for it. All the staying healthy tools. I'm here for it. Okay. Another thing, we don't personally use it because it doesn't work for our family, but a lot of people swear by it, is elderberry syrup. You may want to read about the benefits of that. I have made my own elderberry syrup. I have bought elderberry syrup. I've been gifted like the supposedly highest quality elderberry syrup from one of our chiropractors, and it's never done anything for us. Now, some people swear by it, so I don't want to discount it altogether. It's not something that works for my family, but again, I'm all about having all the tools that I can possibly have. So that might be something that you want to look into for your family, okay? So those are the things when somebody comes home and is like, Mom, I'm feeling, nasally, scratchy, whatever. Those are my go-tos. We kind of up what we're already doing and add in a few other key supplements and oils and things, okay? Okay. Let's talk a little bit, and like I said, if you guys have questions, feel free to put them in the comments, and I will try and answer those at the very end. I don't want to forget to say that as I get to chat, because I'm not monitoring them right now. Okay, let's talk a little bit about mental and emotional health in the winter. I know I am extremely affected by gray days. I feel it in my like mental attitude. I feel it in my body. So let's just talk about that, because as we know, our mental health can affect our physical health, even just stress. Obviously, I told you this story about my son and the sores on his tongue. Stress can affect our health. So this is only a connection I've really made in the last couple of years, but how important it is to stay emotionally healthy. And it's harder to do in the winter, in my opinion. So here are some of the things that I do and we do to stay mentally healthy and kind of keep the stress levels down from that standpoint. So this is one of my best friends. This is my daylight alarm clock. When I wake up on the right side of the bed, right, it feels like the day goes so much better. So what this little guy does, you may have seen me talk about it before if you follow along on my social media at all, but it basically starts as a really low light. It mimics a sunrise. And so it starts as a really low light, maybe 20 minutes before your alarm goes off. And so by the time your alarm goes off, it's fully on. And I'm telling you, you feel so much more awake in your day. I have one, not this specific one, but I have daylight alarm clocks for both of my kids. They wake up in a much better mood. I just feel like it's one less stressor in the day that can kind of knock your immune system down, just kind of waking up slowly and easily versus abruptly. Just really sets the tone for a different day. So I wanted to share this. It might be silly. You might be thinking, why in the world are you sharing this? But this is like a genuine tool to help me get through the winters with the least amount of stress. Because I don't know about you, but I don't like waking up in the pitch black. So that's the first thing I do. They make the morning so much better. Something that I always knew that oils can help, your emotions and all of that. But something specific that I learned lately is there are oils that have been studied because they actually boost the serotonin in your brain. Serotonin is one of the feel-good chemicals in your brain. It is one of the things that enhances your mood and makes you happy. And there are actual oils that have been shown to boost those levels. How awesome is that? So many oils have been studied for their effects on mood, depression, and anxiety, okay? So some of the best oils to boost serotonin are the citrus oils. So oils particularly like bergamot and lemon are really, really good for this, okay? Some other oils that are great for this are jasmine, clary sage, orange, rose, and sandalwood. Those are ones that I was reading about where there are specific studies that show that those oils can help boost serotonin in your brain. So something really cool that I realized is our joy oil. You may have this or have seen it before, but joy oil, guess what oils it has in it? Bergamot, lemon, tangerine, so those are all citrus oils, jasmine, rose, and there's a couple other oils it has too. So this is literally kind of like sunshine in a bottle, okay? It can actually change the chemicals in your brain when you breathe this in. How awesome is that? So I keep these tools on hand because sometimes it's hard to get through the winter. And they really can help calm you and relax you. And again, excuse me, keep you emotionally healthy and helps your body stay physically healthy. My other favorite one, and I have no scientific evidence for this, find the oils that you really like how they make you feel. For me, I don't know if you guys have ever used the Feelings kit, but it is one of my absolute favorite kits that Young Living has. And I use it as a kit, one at a time. You apply them one at a time, inhale them one at a time, and they make such a big difference. However, I really love how they smell as well. So one day I decided I'm going to put a few drops of each and combine them all in a roller. And I just call it my Feelings roller. And I use this, and you guys, it smells so good. So find an oil or oils that you love how they smell and just use them, because it will really help your moods, and like I said, can actually change the chemicals that go through your brain. How awesome is that? And then just some other practical tips for this time of year. Again, what we're trying to do is lower our stress level and stay emotionally healthy, right? So I sometimes, this is maybe silly, but I have to write down things that I'm looking forward to in a day. So maybe it's like a movie or a show, or some favorite meals that you plan out during the week. Like for us, we watch a family show right now. We're in season, I don't even know which one, of Amazing Race. Find something to look forward to. It really can help you get through these days. Maybe you look forward to making a hot tea at night, whatever. And these things maybe sound frivolous and fluffy, but they really make a difference in how you feel and getting through your days in the winter. Okay. Okay. Let's skip over, when you're to the point and you're I don't feel well, I don't feel good, something's going on. I'm going to share with you a couple of oils and products to use when you don't feel well, okay? So Epsom salt baths are something that we do if somebody isn't feeling well but feels well enough to take a bath. Frankincense is a fantastic oil to add to your Epsom salt. Now, whenever you're taking a bath with Epsom salts, make sure you put the salt, put them in your hand, or get a pile or a jar. You may even pre-make it, and put the oils in the salt first. Let it soak in for a minute, and then put the salts into the bath. Otherwise, if you just put the Epsom salt in the tub and then put the oil on top, it's going to sit on top, and you can actually do some damage to your parts when you get in the water. I've heard of this happening, okay? So make sure you put them in the salt first, let it soak in, and then put that in the tub. It is such an awesome experience. So good for your body. So pick what oils you like. I wouldn't pick any super hot oils for that purpose, but frankincense is great. Lavender is great. Some other oils that you might want to consider diffusing or putting on your body, on the bottoms of your feet, are thieves, like we've talked about. Oregano, I always keep oregano on hand. It is super powered. Imu Power, I always say Imu Power really stinks. It's an oil. It's kind of like thieves on steroids, though. It is really powerful, and I will pull it out as one of my big guns if we need it, okay? Exodus 2 is another one of those oils. It contains hyssop. Read about hyssop. It's very cleansing and really lots of good properties for hyssop. Super C, I already mentioned. Ningxia, I've already mentioned, and Inner Defense. Those are some of the things that we will pull out if someone's gotten to the point and they're we're not feeling well. How do we support the body? Those are some of the oils that we use. If it's respiratory related, I'll consider using Raven, RC, any of the eucalyptus oils. You can diffuse those, or you can put them on your chest or your feet. If it's something stomach related, that's when I reach for Digest or peppermint or tummy jize. I have been loving tummy jize. Excuse me. What's going on here? I'm talking too much. I should have brought some water. But tummy jize is part of the Kid Sense line, so it's pre-diluted for kids. But I think it works just as well as Digest, and it doesn't stink as bad. If you guys don't like the smell of Digest, tummy jize is a really great alternative. And here's a tip for you. You can put those directly on the stomach. If they're experiencing any stomach issues, and a warm, wet washcloth on top of that has been the difference maker for us in the past as well. So those are some tips for if you've gotten to the point and you're yeah, my body needs a little bit of extra support. That's where we go with that. Okay, so that's pretty much, I know that was a ton of information. If you need clarification or recipes again, or oils, ask about oils, please leave them in the comments, and I will look at the very end of this. If you saw something you need, something that I talked about, you're ooh, I need that, and it's a Young Living product, It is available in your virtual office. All you have to do is log in, go to one-time order, and order. Unless you're on Essential Rewards, you earn points back. It's like the best rewards program ever. So if you're on Essential Rewards, you can add it to your next order. If you're not a member yet and you're like, ooh, some of these products look interesting and I need to either find out more or, ooh, I want to get these in my hands, reach out to the person who invited you to this class and they can help you get started. If they're part of our Oil Moxie community, that would mean you could be invited into our community. We have a fantastic Facebook group and we have lots of support to help get you started. And what else? Oh, yes, my final tip, I mentioned it before, but honestly, probably my biggest takeaway is if you're not on Ningxia, this one is so good. The cheapest way, like I said, to buy it is through the Ningxia Essential Rewards Kit, and you save like an additional 15%. And you're also earning rewards back because you're getting it through Essential Rewards. So it really is the cheapest way to buy it. So I just wanted to not fail to mention that. So I'm gonna see if I can see any questions here. I don't even know if I'm looking in the right spot. I don't see questions. It could just be that I can't see them, which is a possibility, but feel free to leave them. And if you have any, I will certainly answer you back. And I appreciate your time tonight. I hope some of this information was helpful. And just some of these things, like I said, like wellness is the best medicine, right? We want to support our body and keep it well. And these are some of the tools we use to keep it well, but also some of the things that I keep on hand in case we kind of cross that line and we're like, yes, now we really need some extra support. I feel like, in my mom toolbox over the last 6 years, I've been able to figure out what's worked really well for us. So that's what I wanted to share with you tonight. So thank you so much for being here. I hope this was helpful and I will see you again soon.